when the Big Ten tournament results came out. Arizona flipped to the 2 overall, and Michigan went to the 3 overall. And then when you look at Purdue, Purdue started at the 11 line, and that's, on the 3 line. And then with that result, they scrubbed up to the 8 line, which got them a 2 seed.
Kansas.
I have never liked to draw, ever.
Right.
But
Do you like the location too?
Well, San Diego. If you can't go to St. Louis or Oklahoma City, that'd be my next pick for sure. So, I like where we're going, and I actually like that it's on Friday. So just to give us an extra day, so and we could use some practice time. So, I like that. We're studying Cal Baptist. I don't know as much. I know who their coach is and where they are and the league and winning it and all that stuff. And I know they got, Dominique, if I'm not mistaken, is averaging about 22 or 23. And he shot 180-something threes this year. So I know that'll be a top priority, but I'm looking forward to studying them tonight and have a better feel and a better book on them.
Missouri.
Excited about our opportunity here in the as we represent the SEC in the NCAA tournament. Congratulations to not only our program but all the programs, all the coaches, all the players that's there, and obviously heartfelt for those that were very close. It's tough to be on the other side looking in. So for us, it's just about our opponent, and I'll just mention this first and foremost. Marcus Allen, former player, in December was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So this game is a different game for us, and obviously our associate head coach, Charlton Young. So there's similarities, there's familiarity, and there's relationships on both sides, and they're coached by a heck of a coach, and Jay Lucas, known his family for years, but one of the top coaches in the country, obviously representing the ACC, and what he's been able to do at Miami is definitely an accomplishment in itself. So going to be a battle, and one of those situations and games that we're excited to play.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Monday, March 16th, 2026. Stephen St. John here with Todd Leabo and Jake Gutierrez and Deebs. Selection Sunday has come and gone, and we'll talk about the NCAA tournament bracket, the field. The United States, they win last night in the WBC semifinals against the Dominican Republic 2-1. So now the United States advanced to the finals to take on the winner of Italy and Venezuela. And we'll see Royals players on display in this semifinal matchup, just like we saw Bobby Witt Jr. again on display.
And in the final, guaranteed. It's the Royals party.
Baseball is doing what Kansas City has already done and falling in love with Bobby Witt Jr.
It's beautiful to see.
Sure it is.
That's a heck of a game last night.
What an environment.
Yeah, it's going to be wild no matter what with these teams that are left.
You think that was a strike at the end of the game?
No, it's a little low. Framed well. I mean,
See, that's where you're wrong. You know what? It was a strike.
Well, they called it.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly right.
They did call it.
Okay? Don't be Nate.
I'm not Nate.
Apparently Nate rooting for the Dominican Republic.
I thought it was a perfect strike.
Yeah, there you go.
At first blush.
Well, when he was watching it,
yeah.
when I'm watching it, I did the get out.
Yeah, and then they go back and shut
I called him out.
So, hey, listen, the robots aren't in the WBC.
I can't criticize the ump for a
No.
call for a pitch that I called a strike.
No. He should have swung at the pitch before.
Yeah, too close to take.
But definitely too close to take.
Jeff Passan said he did a masterful job of working a walk in that at bat. It wasn't given credit for it. So.
Was passing on the side of the DR too. Him and
Apparently.
Nate in cahoots.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Dude, the lineup to hold that team to one run, incredible.
Yeah, Skeens is awesome, man.
And they
I
didn't
love
help
watching that
him
dude
a little
pitch.
bit. They were kicking the ball around a little bit, and he hit a guy. And
Bednar did a hell of a job
they
too.
got
getting
out
that
of
jam.
everyone in the pin. It's unbelievable, unbelievable, good stuff. And now, who are you rooting for tonight? These are two of your favorite things in the world.
I'm really enamored with the story of Italy and this team.
Who's your favorite Royal in the last 20 years? Is it the captain? Is it Salvi? You turning your back on Salvador Perez?
Salvi, but
Yeah.
but Bobby.
No. Bobby's not in this game tonight.
Thank you, my friend.
Salvi?
I love Salvi, but I'm
You
rooting.
love Vinny, too.
But I love this story of the Italian team.
Yeah.
And again, I know how much it means to a lot of close friends of mine
Yes.
that have really jumped on the bandwagon. Why wouldn't you?
The Northland Italian baseball fans? Yes.
Yeah, it's a big deal, man.
Yes.
I would love to see
But let me just
Italy
say
make it. I'd love to see Italy make it to
But-
the finals.
But Salvi.
Yeah. Oh, I know, but I would
you,
like
my
to
friend.
see Italy make it.
Thank you, my friend.
I would love to see
Either
our
way, it's fine, but
Royals
yeah.
all perform well tonight. And whoever wins wins.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to
Great games by the Royals.
see. Yeah.
And whoever wins, let the chips fall where they may.
I especially want to see Jack Caglione hit tonight. I think it's important.
Right.
This is tough, though.
So here we go again with this. Boy, you heard this from Canada after they lost in the gold medal game in hockey in the Olympics to the United States, and now here we go. What is it? This decision to ignore the scoreboard. Juan Soto.
Better team won.
Juan Soto told ESPN while walking out of the clubhouse, "We showed the world who's the best team in baseball. That's all I got to say."
He's right.
Like what? Like,
He is right.
what do
He
we-
showed them that the United States is the best team in baseball. That's why they won.
In baseball,
He showed them
What is this denial of
results.
the?
did you,
Denial
like,
of
did you like
results.
him hitting it into a double play in a very important part?
I'm not a Soto fan, so yeah. Yes.
I used to like Soto. I don't like him anymore. When he was the young guy for the Nats, because for some reason my son likes the Nats, I liked him. And then when he just started forcing everything to happen, and I hope he never wins.
Geraldo Perdomo said, "I knew 100% it was a ball. I knew it." Well, you may have been wrong, buddy.
It's a tough call to end a game. Now, had that been a walk, what happens next? Did they automatically win the game? If
Yeah,
they walk?
they get a free run.
They get a free run?
Actually, the walk counts as a run.
It counts as a run.
So,
So you force the guy in from third
Yeah.
when there's no one on first
right.
and second. Okay.
Yes, I think that's how the
Okay.
WBC
well, so
works.
crown their ass then. Okay. It's baseball.
Well, Passan didn't hold back. He starts his column 2 hours after a blown ball strike call ended the Dominican Republic's World Baseball Classic. So,
It's a tough call.
yeah.
It's tough, but how many other calls during the game were also incorrect on a ball and a strike? Probably 15. I mean, it happens all the time. But if it's the last gasp, you just don't take those. Especially when you know the world's out to get you and hand the thing to America. Bang, right?
100% it was a balls. This is Jeff Passan here in his post. The spectacular USA Dominican Republic WBC semifinal game was marred by blown calls, including one that ended the game. Well, I think it was a great pitch,
It was a great pitch.
you know. But, of course, I was rooting for the United States, so
Yeah.
what do you want me to tell you?
I mean, it was low, but
was
it's
low.
close to the strike zone.
Yeah. It was low.
I don't think a blown call.
We've been talking about this for 100 years with umpires. They don't get them all right.
but to say it's a blown call,
Yeah.
hey, maybe it was.
I'd call it a missed call.
Yeah.
A missed.
I'd call it a close call.
Yeah, close call.
Something like that. Blown call is let's just be honest here. Blown call was Don Tinkinger. Okay, it was wrong.
Right, that's what I mean. A blown
It's
call,
different.
right? That's it's
Balls
just
and strikes are not
right. A blown call is when something's flat out like safe and they called him out.
You remember the
Or,
was
you
that
know.
Levon Hernandez in the playoffs
Yeah.
when the balls were 2 feet outside and they were calling him strikes? This was not that. This was very close.
Yeah.
And it was high stakes.
The blown
high
call was the call that cost the guy the perfect game a few
Right.
years
Yes.
ago by
Bill
Jim Joyce.
Nueva?
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
It wasn't Villanueva.
No.
Galarraga.
Galarraga. Deebs.
Deebs.
Jim Joyce, umpire.
You just
Yeah.
said that.
This is just balls and strikes. This is baseball. This is what we have when we don't have umpires or robot umpires. You want robot umpires? Put them in. Bodeker's been wanting robot umpires for years.
Armando Galarraga.
Armando Galarraga. It was a great game. I can't wait for tonight, and then I can't wait for the final, whoever it is, against America. It's going to be awesome.
By the way, in case you're out and about this morning from the National Weather Service, Kansas City, overnight shift
Slick.
arrived
Cold.
overnight. Reports that roads are quite icy, and they are. They were a lot icier in the Northland up north, and they got better as I drove south.
Yeah, the highway were fine, but just like Metcalf out here was a little slick.
I mean, like it wasn't like 152 wasn't fine,
No.
and 435 like in the Northland, like I said, was worse north, but it got better as I drove south.
Be careful out there.
Said road conditions are icy. Please use extreme caution if you must drive. It's still a bunch of wind gusts and stuff like that. So both hands on the wheel, pay attention.
Super, super windy and cold. It was almost 70-some degrees on Saturday. It was 63 degrees yesterday morning.
I think we're
And
going to
it
hit the 80s on Friday.
Yeah, it was
Thursday or
30
Friday.
degrees as I was driving around last night, and it was 13 this morning, so got it all. Be careful.
And we have the NCAA tournament. It sounded like Dennis Gates was saying that his heart went out to you, Todd. Oklahoma, first four out.
It's their fault.
Was it the last team out or first
I don't know
team
if they were
out?
last team. They were the first four out.
First
Porter
team out.
Mosier's done that twice the last 3 years. So, good
Maybe
for
now
him.
he's coming back.
Absolutely. They're going to double down and put resources. They have a new AD. They're going to invest more money in basketball. I do think he's a good coach, and they need a little bit better players. But in the end, I like him a lot. I've told you that a bunch of times. I really like him. I think he's a good guy, and he's a good coach. But they lost the Missouri game, I think, in part because they didn't coach it right. They lost Alabama at home. Same thing. And they probably should have beaten Arkansas twice, if not at least once, and they didn't get that done. If they'd have won any of those games, they'd
Those
been fine.
double buzzer beaters in one game
That was bad.
because Missouri kept them out of the tournament.
Yeah. Had they coached it a little bit differently, they might be in this thing. Now, you're still talking about being a 10 or 11 seed as opposed to what you would rather be. As though we're in the tournament, we're going to be a 3 seed or a 7 seed or a 6 seed. You don't want to be running around nervous on Sunday. And they haven't had anything locked down on a Sunday in Oklahoma since Buddy Hield was there, I don't think. So, what are you going to do? The draw is the draw. We don't need to be wasting time talking about Oklahoma.
We do have Kansas
Can I bring up
in the East.
Let me say something that's on everybody's mind.
What?
This part where a team gets to play as the poorly seeded team
Yeah.
just like a couple hours or less from home,
Yeah.
when Cal Baptist gets to play against Kansas and it's only 98 miles from their campus, is a joke.
Does that irritate you?
Now,
Did you know
people
that-
all mad about Missouri?
Did you know that Cal Baptist
Sarcasm.
existed before yesterday?
No, I just found that out yesterday.
Yeah, I
and
was
they're
unaware.
in Riverside, California, which is less than 100 miles from San Diego. And Kansas, poor
25,
Kansas,
25 wins, buddy.
is going to have to go out there and face these people in their home state.
Wait, people are complaining about that?
No,
He's being
people are
sarcastic
complaining
about
about
the
Missouri. I'm like, this happens sometimes.
Yeah, that's too. I mean, that's close. I mean, that 7-10. Who cares?
The 13 seed gets to
They
play
want
90
people.
miles. From
They
home.
want. They want to sell tickets.
Exactly. Now they didn't need to put Missouri there.
Yeah, they
'cause
didn't need Missouri to sell tickets to St. Louis. They had Iowa
Kentucky
State and Kentucky going there.
Yeah, and
And
Purdue.
Purdue.
Yeah. So, but anyway, let's talk more about the games
Kansas,
themselves.
the 4 seed, will take on the 13 seed Cal Baptist.
Is that the right seed, Jake?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think they should be happy they got a 4. I thought they might get a 5.
Yeah.
I thought they were a 4 pretty much regardless, unless they won that tournament.
Just the way they lost, though.
Wasn't pretty.
Yeah. I mean, they have too many good wins on their resume.
Oh, it is important to win some of those games earlier in the year.
But then again, like, you know,
I mean, let
like,
me ask you a question.
St. John's is
who's if you in a St. John's Kansas matchup, who's the 4 and who's the 5?
right. I mean, it's a toss up. I mean, they got
People think St. John's got screwed. I mean, they never seen 4 and 5. It's what color jersey you wear in the game. I mean, it's all it is. They're close.
Well, they won their conference regular season and the tournament.
And the conference isn't as good as the others.
Mm.
That's what they're telling you with this.
All right, we'll find out. Maybe on the court.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't. I think St. John's is all right. Maybe I've been burned a little bit because I haven't watched them a lot. But every time I seem to watch them, it's because I bet on them somehow, and they don't win by as many
I
points
know
as they
that
should.
feeling. I know that feeling.
You know?
They seem pretty good to me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really good win against UConn in the
Yeah,
conference
they killed
championship.
them
But
there.
they, less than 2 weeks ago, they got smoked by UConn. So
Mhm. And they've had a couple really close ones against some other teams. It's just
it'll
basketball.
be. I mean, they're about the same. I mean,
Yeah.
they're close enough. I mean, I
But
think
here's what we know about all
St.
of
John's
these
is
teams.
probably the top 5, and KU's probably the bottom 4.
You better go win your first game. Don't worry about your second game.
You can worry.
UNI is a tough matchup for St. John's. And I've seen a lot of people already picking Northern Iowa.
And that's the difference between getting the 4 and the 5. I mean, would you rather play Cal Baptist or would you rather play Northern Iowa?
You're playing Cal Baptist 90 miles from your campus, Jake.
I know, that's true. It's going to be a raucous
What if
crowd.
every person from Cal Baptist went there? Could they fill the arena? How big is the school?
A couple thousand, I bet. I don't
But on
know.
that side of the
Could be
bracket,
bigger.
Duke's the 1 seed. The 8-9 is
11,000
Ohio
people
State
go to school
and
there.
TCU.
That's pretty big, actually.
On the bottom side of the East bracket, you've got UConn is the 2. They'll take on the winner of UCLA and UCF. Michigan State's the 3.
It's certainly a historically amazing bunch of schools in that bracket.
So in case you didn't
Duke kind of got screwed.
catch the sarcasm with Todd Leabo,
Sarcasm.
People
The
are-
following is a smart-ass kind of tone.
people are very angry about Missouri. National basketball writers, of course, people that cover Miami. Oddly enough, I've seen the majority of people complaining about this are Kansas people.
Yeah.
Why does Missouri get to go to St. Louis?
Worry about your own business.
Oh, I'm not. I don't.
I'm telling KU people, worry about your own
I'm
business.
asking a question. You
I
think
think it's a great
You think
decision.
the arena is going to be packed full of 15,000 Missouri fans?
Well, it can't be because there's other draws there.
Exactly.
But they're the night session, and so everyone will be wearing black and gold, I think, between them and Purdue.
Yeah.
But I think there's going to be a lot, let's put it this way, there's going to be a lot more Mizzou fans than Miami, Florida fans.
Well, that might be true
I'm gonna
wherever they
guess.
play.
Right. No, if I was Miami, I'd be angry about it.
Yeah, but it's not like there's some 4 seed. The difference between a 7 and a 10 seed is not much either. This is all very close.
Yeah, close like Columbia to St. Louis. Now, of course, one Miami writer posted that Miami fans should be mad because they have to play Missouri, and it's only a 20-minute drive from campus to St. Louis.
He's got
So I was
Pretty
really
close.
I said, wow.
Who's driving? Petro?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a you
got
know
one of those ultra trains like they do in the
Yeah,
deep,
really interesting.
deep
20
underground
minutes, huh?
bases, the dumbs.
I've made that drive, and it seemed like it was longer than 20 minutes.
How did he?
He was then quickly corrected, and
Wonder what he.
he apologized to everybody.
What did he put into MapQuest to get that?
So he told everyone, well,
Wentzville?
it's not 20 minutes, it's 2 hours.
Close enough.
Point's still the same.
Right.
Is
And
it?
then it was like, it's not really still the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's about an hour and 40 minutes difference.
And
It does amaze me, honestly, just an overall thing about just our country. When I see, because I get my algorithm gets some geography things somehow on my stuff. There's a lot of people who don't have any idea where anything is in America, and they're from America. And people down in places like Miami are probably guilty of that. They have no clue where stuff is.
No.
They don't know where Missouri is, much less where Columbia is or St.
No,
Louis.
now they do.
They're about to find out.
And look, people need to understand. I think Missouri fans should understand this better than anybody. There's no guarantee they're going to win that game just because it's in St. Louis.
They're the lower seeded team.
You know,
And they've had a rough couple weeks.
the last time that they played in St. Louis, they got run off the floor by Illinois. Now, this is not Illinois.
No.
And in the Missouri-Illinois game, there was no home team. It split 50-50, so they will have a heavy home court advantage. That'll help.
And they
There's
haven't
no doubt.
They haven't won a game in a
Right,
touch.
right.
I mean, this is not a
Look,
team that's just
if this-
charging into the tournament.
I'll be honest with you. If this game was being played in Buffalo, I'd pick Miami. And the fact that this game is being played in St. Louis, I'm leaning towards picking Missouri.
What's the line on it already?
2.5 in favor of Miami.
It's nothing.
And I'll be honest with you, if it does end up that way, where it's Purdue and Mizzou in the second round, I wouldn't love that if I was Purdue, because I would actually, as dumb as it sounds, if Mizzou played Purdue anywhere else, I'd say no shot. In St. Louis, well,
Tell you what, Purdue was
Maybe.
really impressive yesterday in beating Michigan. I did not see that one coming.
in the regular season they lost 4 of the last 6 games.
Yeah.
So
They got hot at the right time.
But from a Mizzou fan perspective, you simply could not have asked for a better outcome. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to win a game. It doesn't mean they're going to go on this run that gets them to the Sweet 16 and win back-to-back games. They might go out and lay an egg against Miami. I hope they don't. But a few Mizzou fans that I saw kept, I don't think we're going to get in. I'm like, Mizzou's going to get in, but they might be in Dayton. And I think that was certainly on the table. But I think the committee saw they had too many big wins. They beat a 1 seed in Florida. They won at Kentucky. They beat Vanderbilt. They have a lot of really good wins. Bad non-con. They got blown out in some games. They did not finish the season strong. But
Their wins late were pretty good wins, though. You
Yeah.
beat Tennessee. You beat Vandy. Those
you
were,
have
those
to
were
be
nice wins.
thrilled with this outcome if you're Missouri.
Yeah.
You have to be thrilled.
They're in the actual tournament, not the play-in. And if you want to go watch it, it's a lot closer.
They're playing a team that's somewhat evenly matched, and you're playing in St. Louis. How could you complain about that? And you're the last tip-off of the entire first round.
You get to wait
Yeah.
all day.
Well, all these I don't want to play first.
And we were
I don't
talking
wanna-
about that last night. I think I kind of like to play.
I like to play
6 o'clock Thursday.
let
About a good
everything
time.
let everything play out and let all the upsets happen and
Well,
you
nothing
know.
crazy ever happens
and
late.
for me, I want to watch a Friday night game. I don't have to worry about,
Getting up the next day.
that's perfect.
Would you rather watch it about
Perfect.
6 o'clock, though, instead of 9 o'clock?
No, on a Friday night, love it. I'm just telling me, I love it.
I'd rather have about
Perfect
6
for me.
o'clock. About 6 o'clock would be good.
I got too many things to do then. That's
What do you
that's-
got to do
on
on
a
Friday
Friday?
night?
A lot to do.
You don't have anything to do on a Friday night?
Okay, that's perfect for me. So I love
And is
it.
it just perfect for us as a Kansas City group to have both Missouri and Kansas playing at basically the same time?
Sure, why not?
Why not?
It also gives me the option if I get a wild hair, I can drive and go to the game.
Are you going?
If I'm offered,
you
I
saying
might.
this right now?
I don't know. I'm not. I don't have
breaking
plans
news?
now. No, but
Are
it
you
gives
pu-
me the option.
Are you putting yourself out there for invitations?
No, I have people that offer me tickets from time to time, and I might take them up on it. I might not. I don't know. My point is, that's an option.
It's an option.
If it's on Thursday, no option. If it's that leaves it open for me. So I
So
like
you
it.
are open for everything.
Yeah, and it gives more Mizzou fans a chance to get there.
Yeah.
So do it.
Go.
We'll take a break. Back after this on WHB. All right. Let's play the game last time. Last time, Missouri played Miami, Florida in the NCAA tournament.
Well,
What happened?
Was that? I know they beat them.
Yep.
Was that 02 or 09?
What happened?
Missouri won. They
And then
one of the
what
years
happened?
they made the Elite Eight.
Yes.
Was that 09?
No.
02.
They beat Miami.
And then what happened?
Right. They beat Miami. And who else did they beat?
I don't remember who. I didn't remember who they lost to.
Who did they beat?
The Miami was the first game, right?
Right.
That was the 5-12. So then did they play it? Did they play the 4 next, or did they play a 13? What did they play?
I thought Miami was the 4.
They were the
I
4.
thought Mizzou was the 13.
No, Mizzou was a 12.
Were they?
I believe so. Who did they play next, though? Tell me.
Ohio State.
Okay, they beat Ohio State. That got them to Sweet 16. Sweet 16, they beat.
And who was,
I know
yeah,
this.
And
They
who was
beat-
there
You were there.
covering it?
San Jose,
Yes.
UCLA.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And then they lost to Oklahoma.
Yeah, because Oklahoma beat Arizona. That was a Big 12, Pac-12, and so listen, who was out there in someone's backyard? Oklahoma and Missouri were out there in the West, taking care of business.
Right.
Did Clarence Gilbert shoot too many shots in the Elite Eight game?
Yes. And Arthur Johnson could make a free throw. Yes. That makes me sad.
That's the good old days. That's back when Kelvin coached Oklahoma.
Okay. The last time you'll enjoy this one. The last
Did
time
Kansas
Missouri
play Cal Best
the
Baptist?
last time Missouri played
In St. Louis?
in St. Louis in the NCAA
Ooh.
tournament.
I have something in my head about, like, was it like John Sunvold? Was it that long ago, or was it
Just give me the year.
1982?
Yes. See, you know this.
No, I don't
And you're
know.
acting.
No.
See, this is what Nate does.
No, I don't
He
know.
acts like he doesn't. Oh,
Did they play
no.
Georgetown or no?
Not in this game.
Okay. Who was it?
It's very specific what I asked you.
Miami?
The last time they played in St. Louis in the NCAA tournament, who they play?
It was not Miami.
They played. Okay, let's see if Jake can join this. They played a team. No, it's. Don't shake your head. I'm going to give you hints.
Clues.
In 1982, the team featured 2 future NBA Hall of Famers.
Houston.
Okay, see, you shake your head, and then I give it because either you saw it or I'm good enough to give you the
I
right
knew it
hint.
was- I knew it was a really good
NBA Hall of
team.
Famers.
Yeah,
I was something in my head. I've looked at those brackets before.
they lost in the Sweet 16 by 1 point to Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler.
Yeah.
and they went on.
Isn't that good?
to
a good piece of history?
Yeah.
in 82. They went to the Final Four. Houston go to the Final Four. They never won a title, but they went in 82 and 83, and I think in 84. 82.
Think it out loud. Go.
82, Georgetown and
I've
North
got the
Carolina
answer
played in
here.
the final. So I think maybe they lost in the Elite Eight.
No, Carolina beat Houston in the
In the
Final Four,
Okay.
You're right.
and Georgetown beat Louisville.
Georgetown beat Louisville, and then Michael Jordan made the shot, but
What a
they
tournament.
steal after that.
Huh?
Some guys,
That's a good one.
and those guys,
Houston beat Missouri 79 to 78.
and that's back before the whole thing was seeded out. I think the seeding
Because you
started
could have
a little
had
bit later.
You could have had K-State versus Missouri in the Elite Eight, but Boston College beat K-State and Houston beat Missouri, and so then it was Boston College and Houston.
Yeah,
That's all.
we can ask John Sunvold about that game coming up, can't we?
You like digging into people.
I don't like
don't you?
digging in,
Well,
but I
it
mean,
sounds like-
I'm just trying to
Sonny's a
promote
friend of the show.
who's going to be on the show. He could tell us about that. That was the
he's a
old.
good person.
That was the Checker Dome, right?
We'll talk to Pete
Building's
Sweeney
gone, right?
at 7:05. John Sunvold at 8.
Checker down.
Norm Roberts, who I've seen in studio quite a bit when I watch, even like when I watch Missouri games in SEC basketball. You see Norm Roberts
Yeah.
doing that work. And then C.J. Moore from The Athletic, and then Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News. So a lot of great basketball voices will be on the show between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock to give us their thoughts on where Kansas is, where Missouri is, and the NCAA tournament overall.
We also should mention that today at 11 o'clock, K-State is announcing their new head basketball coach with their press conference. They've already announced him, but they're having their press conference for Casey Alexander. So there's basketball afoot in Manhattan as well. Did
And
they drop? Did
we
they
have
drop
plenty
the
of
NIT?
we have plenty of comments from him tomorrow.
Did they drop the NIT bracket?
I didn't pay attention to
Well,
that.
I got to see. Did Oklahoma go to the NIT? I would think they would just try to keep.
I feel like you would know that before.
I was
the
watching
show started.
baseball last night. I don't know.
Yeah. So did someone take your phone during the baseball game where you just couldn't look at the NIT?
I was
or
actually
what?
asleep. I didn't even see the discourse with Nate until this morning. I was barely awake for the final pitch, and I turned it off.
I wanted to send something else.
What did you want to send? Speak out right now. Let people know how you feel.
Kind of, if I had the time, I'd Photoshop a Dominican Republic hat on Nate's head.
I could tell that irritated you.
Yeah. His text was what? That call was low, or what?
I don't know.
That ball was definitely.
I looked
low
at it
or
and
something.
I put my phone down.
That pitch was low. Yeah. Well, it's low and there's a strike.
Right.
I don't see Oklahoma in the NIT, but Auburn is a 1 seed. Does that make them good?
I mean, that's good for them.
Do you think they turned it down?
I don't know.
Well, they had to be invited. Does that irritate you if they turned it down?
I would like to watch them play a little more basketball.
That's what I
but,
mean.
Also, these things are when these guys all start leaving and going to other schools.
It's a chance to get better.
Yeah. Of course.
Oklahoma State's in it.
Yeah, they are in it.
Well, you missed out.
Well,
Wow.
is there still a CBI?
Well, I don't
Who
think
said
if
yes
the-
to the Crown tournament? No SEC teams go to the Crown. I don't think that is a Big 10, Big 12 tournament. A lot of
Yeah, I
tournaments.
don't think if they decline the NIT, they're going to go anywhere else. So, I would have liked your chances in this thing.
That's too bad.
So, what do you think overall? Anything else stand out to you from the NCAA tournament bracket?
Well, I mean,
They declined the bid.
they declined.
Virginia Tech, Belmont, San Diego State, Seton Hall, Indiana, Florida State, and Oklahoma declined bids to the NIT.
Too
They
good
should
for
go
it.
play. Should go play. I do think very impressed by Arizona in Kansas City this weekend, and I like their draw. You know what I mean?
Was that the best game we've ever seen in the Big 12 tournament? That game between Arizona and Iowa State. Some people suggested that.
It could be. I mean, but we've had a lot of tournaments with a lot of crazy things happen. That recency
Was that the
for
best
sure.
game? Best single game we've seen in the Big 12 tournament.
I don't want to say that. It's too definitive.
But I want you to say it. Be definitive.
What an amazing finish! What a
Just
ballsy
made shot after made
I mean,
shot.
Just great. Two excellent
And it was
teams.
dramatic, and it was great basketball.
Unbelievable.
And a wonderful finish.
It absolutely was. And I think,
High-level basketball.
and Iowa State is maybe kind of – listen, I know they don't make the Final Four. That's not what they do. They've had some tournament failures over the years. But that's a really good team.
They can make the Final Four this year.
And if they get hot and get going, perhaps they could. And I like them. And listen, I love their fans.
I root for them in the tournament, and I pick them,
Absolutely. And then they
backfires
just,
on me sometimes.
It generally does. But
I
they're,
want them to win.
They're kind of maybe a little under the radar 2 seed. So that would be a nice run. I think the Big 12 has I'm not as convinced with Houston this year. I think they got a little bit of skill offensively, but they don't seem to be able to make enough shots when it counts. But they can grind you down and maybe make a run. Arizona looks like a Final Four team. Iowa State looks like a team that if they get the right breaks could make the Final Four. That's good stuff. I don't feel that way right now with Kansas. I keep waiting for a little flip to switch.
Now it's
A
time.
switch to flip. A flip to switch.
Now
a
it's
switch
time.
to flip.
NCAA tournament.
I don't know.
Now it'll
That's what I've been
happen.
waiting for.
I
It'll
think
happen now.
we're holding our breath on this, and I don't know if it's going to happen.
I'll be honest with you. I was shocked that they got beat the way they got beat by Houston. I did not see that coming.
Because Houston's got a lot to them. They got a lot of grit and all that, but they had not been as smothering defensively this year as they had been, and for Kansas to score under 50 points in a game, pretty unbelievable to have that happen in Kansas City. But I think I think Arizona's got a chance to go to the Final Four, and I think Iowa State does too. But you got to go do it. I mean, we know what this tournament's like. We say it all the time. You just don't write down chalk, even though it seems like a chalky tournament. I don't think there's some 13 seed that's going to go off on some crazy run, but there's enough depth in the field where, there's some good 4 seeds out there, good 2 seeds. It's going to be fun. It's always fun.
I think St. John's is going to have a tough time with Northern Iowa.
Could be, yeah.
Although I'd love to see Kansas and St. John's in the second round.
These leagues that have that depth up top, like I thought Michigan looked like the best team in the Big Ten, like all year long, right? Well, they lost on Sunday. That's no big deal. But they had their hands full a couple of times in the tournament. So I think the top 4 or 5 teams in the Big Ten can make runs. And I still think I'm a little bit worried about Tech, with the injuries kind of catching up to them. But Kansas and Tech have something to them.
I mean, I think Houston has a nice path to at least get to Elite Eight.
Right, their path looks all right, but they got to go out and they got to make shots because Kelvin's teams will go in these little shells where they don't make shots.
They play such great defense.
Yeah,
they play such great defense.
I mean, there's only the Big East is the Big East, right? I mean, we're kind of upset that St. John's didn't get a better seed and they won the league. So you talk about the best team in the Big East is now a 5 seed, or UConn was a 4 seed. Okay, these other leagues are so big now; they just suck all the life out of everything. So the top 4 or 5 teams in
UConn's the best team in the Big East,
and they didn't win though. They didn't win their league. But still, they're just a 4 seed. They're not a 1 seed.
Aren't they 2?
They're 2.
Or UConn's a 2 seed. Excuse me, my bad. But they're not 1 seed. They're not. The Big East a few years ago felt like they would have a 3 or 4 or 5 seeds that were pretty high, and they're not getting that right now. Remember when the money came out and they're like, oh, the Big East is going to have more money to spend on the roster because they don't have football in a lot of these places? And it doesn't seem to have turned out that way. There's some good teams there, but the Big 12 and the top of the Big 10 are unbelievable this year.
The SEC had the most teams in the tournament.
They had most teams. Now, last year, they had 14. This year's only 10. But still, like Florida got a 1 seed with 7 losses. There's some pretty good stuff going on there. I don't know if I like the fact that there's just fewer leagues now than there were. Power leagues or whatever. But we can't change that today.
I feel like Miami of Ohio kind of got jobbed.
Well, at least they made the field.
Well, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing in Dayton.
Yeah.
Is
that their home state? What on earth is going on?
I think they should be happy they made the field.
Yeah, well, their numbers aren't good.
Well, I mean, you go from the only undefeated team, you lose 1 game, and now you're playing in a playing game.
They made it, so I mean, there were a lot of people.
See, and I don't really think they. I mean, okay, yeah, playing game, but I don't really.
We've seen playing teams make the Final Four, Jake.
Sure.
Oh, I mean, it's a huge difference of them making the playing game versus if they would got left out altogether.
Yeah.
I mean, they were thrilled to get that because they get to play in Ohio and they get a chance to prove it on the court. If they don't have that opportunity, they get no chance to prove it.
Their net ranking's 80-something. I mean, that's got to be like the lowest at-large team to ever make it.
They had 0 quad 1 games.
None quad. They didn't lose them. They just didn't have them.
Right.
Dennis Gates talked last night on his Zoom about their scheduling. We talked a bunch about it.
I can't wait to hear that. We should play some of that.
They didn't play anybody, but it worked out for them because they won those games and they got in. So I think scheduling is a tricky thing these days. Auburn played a whole bunch of good teams. They didn't beat many of them. I think they beat St. John's. That's their nice win in the non-con.
Yeah.
But they lost to all the other teams, and now they're in the NIT.
They had a chance to beat Ole Miss at home. They didn't. And that's kind of what kept them out.
And Missouri didn't play much of a non-con.
No.
But they won almost all the games. And they're in the field. So scheduling's a weird thing right now in basketball because I don't know if these guys know exactly what they're looking for.
It's going to be a really interesting matchup between Missouri and Miami because, and he talked about this in the press conference, C.Y. Young, who came with Dennis Gates to Mizzou to help him rebuild the program, left this year to go to Miami to help Jay Lucas. Mm-hmm. Jay Lucas, the brother of who?
John Lucas.
John Lucas III. Mm-hmm. Remember him?
Big 12 people.
I loved
Jay Lucas played
loved
at
watching
Texas
him at
and
Oklahoma State. Though.
John Lucas played at Oklahoma. John Lucas played at Baylor and Oklahoma
Right.
State.
But, I mean, he was tremendous at Oklahoma State.
I
Of
think
course,
he
his dad
played
is John Lucas.
in the last game ever at Hearn Center. John
Who's that?
Lucas III.
I thought the last game at Hearn Center was Kansas.
Missouri and Kansas. 'Cause I was at it.
Yeah, I was at that one. Scott Padgett made a little
Yeah.
baby hook. Oh, now you got this all torn up here.
Oh, I thought they played Oklahoma. I thought I was.
No.
Nope.
John
it was Missouri,
Lucas-
Kansas, and me and Richie were at it.
John Lucas was on the Baylor team in 03, and all the tragedy happened,
Yes.
and they gave them all free transfers.
Yeah, I remember. I guess I covered Oklahoma State at Hearn Center with Davey B.
It was a good team.
I don't know why this was brought up.
Well, I don't know how
I
we got there.
I was
either.
wrong.
Absolutely unnecessary to bring that up.
Well, you brought up John Lucas III. I remember
Yeah.
watching him play in Hearn Center.
But then we just had to get to where Kansas beat Missouri in the last game at Hearn Center.
Well, maybe I accidentally said that.
Right.
You think he did that on purpose, Steven?
But C.Y. Young has, I mean, he was associate head coach up until this year. And he has intimate knowledge of the program, Dennis Gates' system, and several players on that basketball team. So that's an advantage from Missouri.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, this tournament's always good.
And Robinson's going up against one of his high school teammates in the game.
Hey,
And the other
anymore-
thing and this is an important note, you heard Dennis Gates mention this, and there was, I think, a look of confusion on both of your faces. You may not know the backstory, but there was a player named Marcus Allen who was recruited out of the state of Florida by Mizzou, was a freshman last year, and then he transferred and went back home to Miami, and I want to say it was a few months into the season, maybe in December, he was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and so I thought that was classy of Dennis Gates to mention that. And I see a lot of different Mizzou people have been posting the GoFundMe to help support Marcus Allen's family as he battles non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Well, anymore, honestly, this with the transfers and all this stuff.
I just
there's
reposted that as well
so
at
many
SSJWHB.
connections with these teams. You'll end up playing someone you were teammates with, or maybe one or two teams that you played against can happen anymore. So there are connections all over the place for sure.
Yeah, but that's a pretty strong one
Yeah,
when you're associate head
absolutely.
coach, just and helped you build the program you're at. Now he's
At the other place.
in the same role in Miami now under Jay Lucas, and because he knows these players,
Sure.
helped recruit them, coached them, so a lot of familiarity there for both coaches.
Yeah, I was just looking through. Auburn didn't make it. They played Houston and lost. They played Michigan and lost. They did beat St. John's. They played Arizona and lost. They played Purdue and lost. And then they got into the SEC and they got some nice wins there. But Dennis Gates, they played Kansas and Illinois. Those were the two
The
bigger teams they played.
Because they got the way they got beat by those two teams was unacceptable. But the loss that was unacceptable was losing at Notre Dame.
Yeah, because Notre Dame didn't.
That
play
was
very good.
that was unacceptable. But
So I don't know what the right way to
Yeah.
schedule is.
I was on with Jason Anderson last night. I don't know if you heard it on our selection special.
I did not hear you on. Were you on after Dennis Gates?
I would have, yes.
Like 7
I was
o'clock
on
or something?
late.
Yeah.
And so I told him, Jason asked me about that. There can there can be a happy medium somewhere
Yeah.
between Missouri and Auburn. The schedule doesn't have to be pillow soft, but it also doesn't have to be a murderer's row.
In the end, what do you have to do?
Win
Games.
And look, I guess I'm stupid. I put more value into the conference. When you finish 4 games below 500 in the conference, I don't think you should be a tournament team. I think it's kind of simple, right?
Well, last year in the SEC, teams were making it with less wins this year than Auburn had, but the league was that deep.
We'll take a break back after this on WHB.
folks, this is Nate Bucati, and I want to talk to you about my friends at Greengrass Cattle Company, particularly about buying in bulk. Listen, if you've been thinking about buying beef in bulk, that's a lot of bees, now's the time to do it. And there are some real benefits, speaking of bees. You could choose your cuts and packaging. It's more affordable per pound than most grocery store beef. The quality is far better, and you know exactly where your beef is coming from. The quality of processing is better as well because at Greengrass Cattle Company, their beef is processed by Bickelmeyer Meats. They've been in business for 70 years. They know what they're doing, and they've raised cattle themselves, so they understand and respect the animal and the work that goes into raising them right. The quality and taste far better than the typical big box store beef. It's also healthier and more nutrient dense. They have a lot of different options, so you can buy in bulk, but they also have bundles and 1/8 beef shares as well. Look, business has been going great at Greengrass Cattle Company. I just talked to Mary the other day. So you want to make sure you order ahead of time. greengrasscattleco.com. greengrasscattleco.com. Get that share and get your freezer stocked up for grilling season.